Chapter 15, The Truth at Last. A little later, Raphael told me, he and his mother heard the shouting and screaming from Rodrigo's house. They soon learned that Anita was nowhere in the house or the village. Raphael smiled to himself. Perhaps Anita was still waiting somewhere for her soldier. She can wait forever. She'll never see him again, he thought. I'll sail along the coast and look for her, he told his mother. In fact, he wanted to go to a quiet place to wash his boat again. There was still some dark blood in the bottom. He went back to the place in the rocks. It was calm and quiet there. The soldier's boat was at the bottom of the sea. Raphael took some water from the sea to wash his boat. A small shark swam slowly under it. Almost without thinking, Raphael picked up his fishing spear. He hit the shark hard through the back of the head. Its blood came out into the clear water. A few other sharks, bigger ones, smelt the blood and came fast through the water. They began to bite at the dying fish with their great sharp teeth. They fought, biting great pieces off the dead shark. Raphael decided to catch one or two and cut them up in his boat. He wanted their blood to be in the boat with the donkeys. A white shark about 3 meters long was pulling at the dead one. It lay in the water next to the boat, not moving. Raphael killed it with his spear and put a line round its head. Then he pulled it into the bottom of the boat. Raphael took his knife and cut the shark open from neck to tail. Pieces of meat, fish, and hair from its stomach fell out into the bottom of the boat. There was a large piece of donkey skin with its gray hair. Raphael moved it with his knife. In that second, the world stopped. Raphael's blood seemed to freeze inside him. The sky went dark. He couldn't move. In the pile of meat and fish in the bottom of the boat, there was a hand, a complete hand, white and clean. It was cut off at the wrist with one clean bite. It was a small hand with small, pretty fingers. The fingernails were long and pink. They weren't bitten or dirty or broken by housework. And on the middle finger of the hand was a gold ring, a ring in the shape of a golden fish. Raphael gave one great scream. He held his head in his hands. He knew now where Anita was. The night before, when the engine of the soldier's boat stopped working, she was there in the boat with him. Then he went into the water to look at the engine. She stayed in the boat. She saw him when the sharks killed him in the dark water. Perhaps she tried to pull him into the boat, but then she too fell into the blood-red water. And there she spent the last terrible seconds of her life with her true prince, the soldier. Raphael knew he couldn't continue living. He couldn't live with this terrible secret. He stood up in the boat and called Anita's name. Then he threw himself into the sea. He lay in the water face down. He waited for the sharp teeth in the mouths of the sharks to pull him down to his death. But they didn't. He felt them in the water all around him. Sometimes he felt them push against him, but they didn't hurt him. Then Raphael understood. God didn't want him to die this way, an easy death, a quick death, too quick and easy for a murderer. He was terribly afraid. He tried to kill himself. He held his face under the water and tried to die, but he couldn't. At last he climbed back into the boat. He sat like a dead man and looked at the little hand with the gold ring. After a long time, he took the ring carefully from her finger. He took a piece of fishing line and tied the ring around his neck. He had his ring again. He had it from Anita's own hand. I'll keep it with me forever, he thought. Then I will never forget my terrible crime. He threw the dead shark back into the sea. Then, last of all, he took the cold, white hand. He held it, his own hand, for the last time. Then he put it carefully into the water. Then he lay down at the bottom of the boat, holding the ring at his neck, and he looked at the bright sky and talked to Anita, and they laughed and laughed. I took Raphael's body back to his village. He lies in the ground near that place in the rocks, the secret place where he and Anita spent many happy hours. I put the gold ring round his neck, the ring that he took from Anita's dead hand. It will stay with him forever. Nobody in the village knows what he did. Not Rodrigo, not my uncle or Rosa. They still believe that Anita and the soldier are living somewhere far away. I can see no reason to tell them anything different.